Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you and for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji Water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Fiji Water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you who have made a weekly and monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers that tomorrow, the first Thursday of every month, with us will be Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, BeccaTheDietitian.com, who will be with us to discuss topics that will enhance our health and wellness. You don't ever want to miss that segment, but you certainly don't want to miss tomorrow, where Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, will be with us live right here in 3D. And of course, you know, we are Facebook Live, we're YouTube Live, and we are RadioFreeNetwork.com live. You can go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on radio, and the Dropbox will appear. Click on New Life, and every broadcast will be available to you. And since we're talking about RadioFreeNetwork.com, we are in the process of shopping for equipment. I'll just give you a little bit of the backstory. We are in the process of doing our due diligence. We are in the process of getting our automated system together so that we can launch our Faith Inspiration internet radio station right here, 24 hours a day, where you will be able to not only tune in for 3D, you'll be able to tune in for a segment with Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist. We're going to be bringing some others on the air, and you will hear music, inspirational music, 24 hours a day. And so we're excited about expanding our platform. We're going to be doing that in the first quarter of this year, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a great time to be inspired so that we can maximize our success and become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become to experience the fullness of God. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have observed that all the past efforts you have made have produced positive results. All the ones that you've made over the last few years have really produced positive results. And I want to just take a moment, first of all, to thank you for your kind words. You said you've been listening to the broadcast for the last few years. We've been broadcasting 3D for 4 years and 3 months, 4 years and a quarter. And you've been listening to the broadcast the last few years, and everything that you have put in all the effort, all the work that you've put in, listening to things that have been discussed here on the air. You've put into action. You've implemented, and you see positive results. You said, however, you right now feel that you're starting to lack motivation to keep going. And so I'm going to say this. You know, what's happened is you've been putting in the work and you've just gotten a little fatigued. You know, there's a lot of causes for fatigue right now. But I'm going to walk you through this, and I'm going to address some things that you can do that are going to help you in the process of your fatigue. Because you're going to have to continue working hard. If you want to continue to produce good results, you want to continue to really maximize your success, you're going to have to continue working hard and smart, effectively and efficiently. This is just the beginning of your success. You know, what's really amazing is you've seen the results that have been produced over the last few years. The good news is it's just the beginning. There's so much more success that God has purposed for your life. You can get to that, but you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work smart. You're going to have to work effectively. You're going to have to work efficiently. You're going to have to continue working at the pace you've been working to get the results that you've been achieving. So you're going to have to recognize that because this is just the beginning of your success, as hard as you've been working to get to this point, you're going to have to work twice as hard to maximize that success. So let me kind of walk you through this. So we all get a little, from time to time, we all get periods of exhaustion, but we can manage our exhaustion. We can get more rest. So let me start there. So, you know, I was really excited, and I'm just going to walk you through some personal aspects so that you can apply some of this information. So I was really excited a couple of nights ago when I got 8 hours and 59 minutes of sleep. But then the following day, the very following day, I had a lot of work going on and a lot of business that needed to be addressed, some self-imposed deadlines that I wanted to complete before the first week of this year because, you know, there's so much more that's scheduled throughout. I didn't get as much sleep as I would like to achieve because I want to get at least 8 hours a night, and I didn't get anywhere near that. So I found that I needed to, at some point that evening, after working diligently, I found that I needed a little power nap. And I'm not one who likes to take naps, because particularly when it gets later in the day, because I think it would disrupt my sleep pattern. Now, fortunately enough, it didn't, but I took a little power nap so that I could recharge and finish what I had to do. And I didn't get nearly as much sleep as I would like to get. But last night, I got back on what needed to be done. And even though I didn't get quite 8 hours of sleep, I got closer. Because there's a lot going on, and that happens, but we have to manage our exhaustion. So when we recognize that we're not meeting our goals for getting rest, we have to make adjustments. We have to make adjustments. So my last meeting this evening isn't until 7 p.m. And then, of course, I still, I have 3 hours of study that I have to do every day and 2 hours of preparing for the broadcast and all of those things. So I'm saying to you, you've got to manage your time and you've got to manage your exhaustion. So that's one of the things that we have to focus on, is managing that exhaustion. And that will allow us to remain motivated. It will allow us to remain inspired. And then I'll give you an example. On top of that, I happen to know, because of my schedule every week, that Thursday is my longest day And my busiest day of the week, every week, Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday. And so I know there was something I wanted to do just for a little bit of relaxation this evening. It was something I wanted to do, but it involved some others who are very dear to me, and their schedules didn't line up with my schedule, so we moved that to another day because I know that I can't stay up late tonight because tomorrow I will be exhausted and it's my longest day of the week and my busiest day of the week. So I say all of that to say you've got to manage your exhaustion and understanding that you're going to have to continue working hard. You've got to manage that. So sleep, we don't want to deal with sleep deprivation. So you've got to get enough sleep. You've got to work towards getting at least 8 hours of sleep every night. That's the goal. And because we set that goal, that means that most days we're going to get close to that. And some days we might be blessed to get more than that. And then here's the next thing. You're going to have to change some eating habits. So some of the things that you eat that might cause you some indigestion, might cause you to be a little sluggish, might cause you to lack energy, you might want to try and eliminate some of those things from your diet. I just recently had to make a change in my diet because my doctor said to me, and I shared this with the congregation at church also, my physician said to me last year that I needed to lose 9 pounds. And I've lost 5 of it. I've actually lost 5 of it already. And I say that to say, part of that was just simply changing some of my eating habits. Things that I was once able to eat and not gain weight, I'm not able to eat those now. And I'll give you a prime example of that. Bread, I don't eat white bread. Very rarely, I'll say that. Very rarely will I eat, like sourdough bread. I love sourdough bread, but very rarely will I eat sourdough bread. And it's usually when I go out to dinner. So I don't make it a habit of going out to dinner daily or even weekly. Now, having said that, I was eating wheat bread because I know that it's not white bread, so it's better for me, or at least I thought so. So I went from eating, wheat bread, a couple of slices of wheat bread, down to, I was supposed to go down to 1 slice of wheat bread a day. I eat no wheat bread now. I'm intentionally, you got to be intentional about these things. I'm intentionally not eating any bread at home so that when I go out, if they have some bread that some of the restaurants that I like to go to have really good breads, so I can eat something that's maybe multigrain or that type of thing. But I don't go out to eat regularly. So that's not what I'm going to do. And if I do go out to, I shouldn't say I don't go out to eat regularly. I might go to a lunch meeting, but I don't go out to dinner regularly. So consequently, if I eat when I'm out, it's a salad. And now if I even order food in at home, it's a salad. I like protein on my salad, so what I'm really saying is you've got to be intentional about the changes that you make so that you can maximize your performance. And as I shared with all of our listeners and viewers, one of the things I found is that 8 hours of sleep per night allows me to perform at the highest level. I'm more focused on the details that I really like to focus on because I know that, it's little foxes. It's the small details that make a difference. It is, as we said in the corporate world, the devil's in the details. So I'm always very detail conscious. And getting 8 hours of sleep helps me to perform at a higher level. Drinking at least 4 liters of water a day. I shoot for 6. And I'm really at the point where I'm trying to some days drink 50% of my body weight every single day. Doesn't always happen, but that's a goal. And if I get that, then I'm over my four to six bottles a day. So I say all of that to say we've got to be intentional about everything. And managing your exhaustion is going to require you to be intentional. And then you have to, we talked about sleep, we talked about eating. You have to make certain that you're exercising in some form. Now I'm back at the gym, although I've been really busy, so I've been working out at home as opposed to going to the gym to work out. But however, you got to start working out. You got to do something to work out. So I belong to a text workout group, and all we do is text in what workouts we do every day. And so one of the gentlemen on the group this morning said, just a group poll, how many days are we working out? How many days are most people working out? Are you working out every other day? Are you working out 2 on 2 off 1? And my response jokingly was, at my age, I let my body tell me what days I'm going to work out. Now I try to work out. So I've been working out at home since the new year. I've been working out at home every day. And before that, I was working out at home about 5 days a week while I haven't been able to go to the gym. When I'm able to go to the gym, then I work out at the gym a few days a week, and I work out at home a few days a week. So I'm getting in. My goal is to work out 250 days through the year. And I met that goal last year. Actually got one over that. So I'm saying all of that to say, you've got to start exercising more. You got to make sure you're getting some exercise in. Those 3 things: sleep, diet, water, exercise. Those 3 things are going to help you manage that exhaustion. So you're going to have to make those changes so that you can continue working at the pace that you've been working without suffering from exhaustion, and that will allow you to maximize the success that God has appointed for your life, because what you've experienced is just the beginning. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated you feel for the first time in your life you have clarity on the direction you want to go. You want to know how do you make what you envision reality. So let me, again, I've got to acknowledge this because some of you have been so kind continuously, and you talk about how much 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, has changed your perspective, and I've received some communication from people who have said it's changed their lives these last few years, and you really feel now you have clarity. So you want to know, how do you make it become what you've envisioned, become your reality? So let me tell you this. You are going to need, and so many of us need to do this, you have to have an implementation strategy. So you've got to develop an implementation strategy. That means, how am I going to take action to accomplish what I envision? What actions are going to be necessary to accomplish what I envision? And how do I implement that? Okay, so I've got to, once you develop the strategy, the implementation strategy, how do I then implement it? So part of that is going to be by, once again, managing your time. Part of that is, for you, is also going to be managing your lifestyle. You have the tendency to lose focus even though you have clarity. Now that might, to some people, say, well, how does that happen? Well, with God all things are possible. So you now have some clarity because you've gotten revelation on the direction you want your life to go. You've gotten some revelation on, where you want to end up. Our goal is to get to heaven. That's the long-term goal. But there's things we need to accomplish right here that are part of our purpose, that will lead to our purpose. So we have to really focus on how do we implement the strategy. What's the action that I need to take? And so let me kind of share with you what that's going to require of you. When I talked about losing focus, you cannot get distracted with people, places, or things. This is real important, because sometimes it's people, sometimes it's your desire to have something that gives you gratification, sometimes it's your desire to just pick up and go someplace. You've got to not only reduce the people who are around you, your desire for things, and your feeling of, I've got to get away. You've got to eliminate that to accomplish what you've envisioned. What's interesting is that God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. You didn't say this in your communication, but God has shown me that you desire to own your own business, and you have a good idea. You have a good concept. But right now it's a concept and an idea. So what's your implementation strategy? Let me use this as an example. You've got to develop a business plan. You've got to know exactly what you're going to do to create and develop a successful business. Who are the people you're going to surround yourself with? Because everybody else, you're going to have to let them drop off. Sometimes we think the more people we have around, the more we're loved, the more popular we become, and that tends to give us pleasure because it justifies who we are and what we're trying to become. That's not what happens. Those people that we allow to grab hold of us and hold on, they're trying to get someplace also, in most cases. Some of them are just holding on and are going to hold you down. Some of them are trying to get someplace, but you can't take them where they're going until you get where you're going. You can then give them some steps and some tools and some strategy to get to the place that's purpose for their lives. But you've got to get where you're going first. And that doesn't mean you got to get to the end. It just means you have to get to where you're going. You have to get on the journey so they can watch you on the journey. They can use some of the techniques that you're using on the journey. And your litmus test for who should remain is always going to be, if people decide to keep doing things the way they're doing them because they think it's the right way to do them, and they're not getting any different results, then you got to let them go. Here's a problem that we have in our society today. And you've all heard me say this, and this was a revelation from God. People do the wrong thing for so long they think it's the right way to do it. And they don't get any new results. Now, we had a cliche in the world that says, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, that's insanity. Well, you're not insane. Because if you're insane, you can't function. So I'm really trying to use the revelations of God to give us insight into changing some of these cliches, into changing some of the thoughts of society. And one of the things that we have to recognize is that we can't keep doing the wrong thing thinking it's the right way to do it. Because if we're not getting results, not getting positive results, then we're not doing it the right way. So we want to be doing things the right way. Scripture says, renew a right spirit in me. So I want to do things the right way. We're not perfect. We're just being perfected. And I want to change the things that I do personally and professionally if I'm not getting the result I want, the result I desire. So we got to make those changes. If people around you are not making those changes, they're still doing the same things, they're still having the same conversation, they're still saying complaining about the results they're getting, then they're doing the wrong thing, thinking it's the right way to do it. So we've got to let them drop off, and we've got to move on. We've got to make sure that we only take the people with us, or surround ourselves with the people who maybe can't see your vision, but they're willing to follow the vision. They're willing to follow where you're going because they know you're going someplace, and they want to go also. They want to improve the quality of their lives also. So we all have to recognize that having a strategic plan for our lives is crucially important. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Terrett, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, you can stop in at their retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. They have shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Terrett at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK, and they also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you stop in at the retail store, you might see me at The White Company. Say hello at thewhitecompany.com. If you cannot get into New York, or you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I want to just take a moment before we run out of time and address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. And you indicated that you want to have another child, that your husband wants to have another child, but you are not certain that you want to have another child. And here's what I'm going to say to you. Blessed is the man that has a quiver full. You know, God is doing something in your life. And having another child is going to be a blessing in your life. It's entirely your choice, yours and your husband, but it's something that you should have a conversation about, and you should make that decision based on the right time, the right timing, and what your plan is for your children to have an impact on society. This segment of the broadcast, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, is brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow with Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, who is going to share some information with us that will enhance our health and wellness. BeccaTheDietitian.com. Go to our website. You can